The move online was meant to make marketing more effective, more targeted, and more accountable. In reality, the opposite has happened. Digital marketing has lost its way, and both advertisers and consumers have lost faith with digital marketing. It's our responsibility to fix it. This is why Bango has brought together some of the best minds in marketing to discuss not just what's gone wrong, but how we build better campaigns, become more effective, and develop more ethical practices for the digital marketing industry. To find out more about how Bango is championing a new approach that better serves marketers and consumers, download the manifesto at bango.com/manifesto. Enjoy the event.
Hi. Bob Dylan wrote, "Take a deep breath, feel like you're choking. That's because everything is broken." I'm not sure everything is broken, but I'm pretty sure marketing is. The past decade or so was expected to be one of the most fruitful and productive in the history of advertising and marketing. We had amazing new digital tools and stunning new digital media that we never had before. Our ability to reach consumers one-to-one with web-based personalized media was certain to make advertising more appealing, more relevant, more timely, and consequently more appealing. The ability of brands to listen to consumer conversations through social media, and react quickly couldn't help but connect them more closely with their customers. And consumers themselves would be one of our biggest assets by engendering online conversations about our brands, which would make paid advertising less necessary. And yet, the past decade has been one of the most disappointing and disheartening I've experienced in my hundreds of years in the advertising business. First, it's widely believed inside and outside the ad industry that advertising has gotten worse, not better. Instead of becoming more appealing, more relevant, and more timely, advertising has become more creepy, more annoying, and more avoided. The data is irrefutable. Consumer research shows that regard for our industry has reached new lows. A study by BBH Labs reported that in the past 20 years, the number of consumers who say advertising is annoying has doubled. A study by Nielsen reported that consumers say they're 46% more likely to change brands than they were just 5 years earlier, and only 8% said they were strongly brand loyal. One study showed that of all forms of advertising, the 8 types rated the lowest by consumers were all forms of online advertising. And by a factor of about 1,000 to 1, people use interactivity to click away from advertising rather than into it. Regulators and governments are after us with a passion. They want to know what we're doing with the data, whether we are collecting it illegally, whether we are trading and selling it illegally. And are we doing this without the informed consent of the people we're taking the information from? Real-time bidding, the engine that drives the bulk of online advertising, is being scrutinized and may itself be illegal by GDPR standards. A study in Europe reported that by the time the average child is 13 years old, the ad tech industry has 72 million data points on that child. Meanwhile, tens of billions of dollars are being stolen annually from marketers by online ad fraud. Estimates by reputable organizations and researchers indicate that ad fraud is likely to consume as much as 20% of all online ad dollars. This would place its annual cost to marketers at about $70 to $80 billion. If true, ad fraud is a bigger business than Coca-Cola or Nike. The World Federation of Advertisers has reported that by 2023, ad fraud may become the second largest source of criminal income in the world after drug trafficking. And where are these billions of dollars going? Nobody knows. But it's not unthinkable that they're going to fund organized crime activities around the world, and that they are funding dangerous activities by enemies of democratic governments. Algorithms derived from tracking have helped drive a wedge of intolerance into democratic societies. A study conducted by Facebook reported that 64% of people who joined extremist groups on Facebook were led there by Facebook's algorithm. And where does Facebook's algorithm come from? The information they gather from tracking. Now, other than all those things that I talked about, we're doing fucking great. I believe that all these issues that I've mentioned can be traced to the one original sin of the digital marketing industry, tracking. The practice of spying on individuals by the ad tech industry and the collection of and sharing of and selling of our personal private activities to anyone who wants them is behind all of this. Ironically, virtually everything we like about the web, entertainment, information, communication, is funded by the marketing and advertising industry. Without advertising, the free web as we know it would not exist. Advertising is an essential component of the web, but tracking is not. The problem is not advertising, the problem is tracking. For decades, marketers were wonderfully successful, and the advertising industry was fabulously profitable without spying on people. It's only the digital marketing and media industry that introduced spying as an acceptable form of targeting. The convenience of marketers dwarfs in importance to the privacy rights of citizens and the integrity of democratic institutions. Our industry's in trouble. We need to take a good hard look at our practices and where those practices have led us. Our industry is broken, and the only way to start to repair it is to end the unnecessary, counterproductive, and dangerous practice of spying on the public. Strong letter to follow.